Yo, what's up, everyone? It's me, back again after a longer break once more because I was busy with the university, and I now finished my bachelor's degree, so I'm done with uni for now. And this had me thinking about something. So, I worked pretty hard for my degree. I finished my degree in 3 years, which is a normal amount of time for a bachelor's degree. And then I was thinking how some people have to work even harder than this, because I just had to pass exams, write a thesis, but some people have to work using their body. Physical labor is what I'm talking about, which is strenuous in a different way from what I had to do, but it's valuable work, you know? Take construction workers, for example. It's thanks to them that we have streets and all that good stuff. But they're not going to become millionaires because they're pursuing honest hard work. But you know who's becoming millionaires with ease nowadays? It's girls that shake ass. Shaking ass creates careers. When you think about it, it actually is that way. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna explicitly say what I mean, but you'll get the gist. And their financial success is not deserved, in my opinion. But where there is a demand, there will be a supply. And they provide that exact supply. You know exactly what kind of creators I'm talking about. And I think it's crazy that they make what some people make in a year within less than a week. The fact that we're experiencing an epitome of male loneliness is helping this field of work becoming more lucrative. A lot of guys are pretty lonely out there. They got it rough and just want some kind of human connection. They desperately latch onto these booty cheek shaking girls because they seem to somewhat satisfy their needs a little bit, and then they literally get hooked onto it, it seems. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't fulfill their needs, but it substitutes a real solution. Ultimately, it doesn't solve their problem, it just adds to it, if anything. By sidetracking oneself, subscribing to these services, and consuming them, you're not actually getting rid of your problem. You're just basically looking away from your problems, and the longer you ignore such problems, like loneliness, for example, the worse it's gonna get. And I know some people might say, hey, good on these girls for helping lonely men out there. When in reality, it couldn't be further from the truth. I know that some of them are weird, like the consumers and whatnot, but that does not make it okay to have them feed into an unhealthy addiction that came into being because of loneliness. They're just throwing away their money, giving it to girls they never talk to and never will talk to. And I don't think that is inherently okay, like the entire business model. And you know, something must be up if so many men are willing to pay to look at women on the internet and to quote unquote chat with them. Of course, they're not actually talking to the person they think they're talking to, because why would they take the time out of their day to chat with individuals that just give them money for free? Of course, they're gonna like have some, I don't know, maybe they even have chat bots already that respond to messages, or they have people that, like the managers of their accounts, that message these dudes back. I don't know, but if they actually think that these girls reply to them, I feel really bad for them, not gonna lie. So if so many men are willing to pay to look at women. There must be some fundamental human needs not being met in their lives. And you know it's a lot of men that consume that shit. You just know. Because how much does such a service cost? It's like $5 or something. And if these girls, if these chicks are becoming millionaires through a service that costs $5 a month, then there must be a lot of dudes paying for that shit. So since their fundamental human needs are not being met, they resort to the substitute, which initially may feel like it fulfills those needs, but it actually doesn't. And I'm well acquainted with the concept of supply and demand, but I think that this is a case of the chicken and egg problem. I'd say that on average, men are more controlled by their sex drive than women. So if an offer arises, such as the ones on the internet nowadays, men are more likely to spend money on that stuff. But considering that the men of today are going through an epidemic of loneliness, that gives us another view on why a market such as the ass-shaking one flourishes as it does. And no, I don't think that this market is doing any good in helping men cope with their loneliness. I believe that it is like pouring gasoline into a fire. And there's a lot more to the male loneliness epidemic. This is just one piece of this very complex problem. So who's to blame for this entire situation? The girls, the men that consume the content, or the platforms that enable this type of content? Honestly, maybe no one is to blame in this situation, but multiple parties are merely involved in this accumulation of circumstances. And these various circumstances just led to what we have today. This market of ass-shaking content creators. But as I've said, it's good on these girls that they're making bank. I'm not here to hate on anyone, not to hate on the girls, not to hate on the people that consume their content and even like pay for it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just here to kind of talk about this situation because it's weird. It's not normal. I'd love to have more views and opinions on this entire topic, so if your views differ from mine, then feel free to enlighten me down in the comments. Just leave your thoughts for me down there, and I'll happily read through it. I'm always happy to have more views. And with that out of the way, I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna try to remain more active in the future now, like in the near future, and upload more. I know I've said that before, but honestly, it was my bachelor's degree that kind of came in the way, got in the way of things. But now that that is out of the way, I hope to make more videos more regularly. Alright, that's it for me. Bye guys.